As we enter our golden years, a profound shift occurs. We start to realize that our most prized possessions are not the material things we've accumulated, but the memories they hold. However, this realization is often overshadowed by an unsettling truth. Our stuff, which once brought us joy and comfort, now seems like an albatross around our necks, weighing us down with maintenance, dusting, cleaning, organizing, and constant worry about its upkeep. And when it comes time to move into assisted living or leave this world, our loved ones will likely view our possessions with indifference, if not outright disdain. It's a harsh reality, but one that must be acknowledged to lead a happier, more fulfilling life as we age. In this eye-opening video, we'll explore 5 truths about decluttering for seniors that you should keep in mind to make this process less daunting and more liberating. By understanding these truths, you can find ways to let go of your attachment to material possessions and focus on what truly matters in your later years. So grab a cup of tea or coffee and let's get started. No. 1. No one cares about your stuff as much as you do. This may seem like a harsh truth, but it's essential to acknowledge early on. Our homes reflect our personalities and life stories. Each item holds memories and emotions. But as we age, our children, friends, and even ourselves will change. Our adult kids won't care about our knickknacks and decor choices the way we do. They have their own lives and priorities. The sentimental value we attach to objects may not resonate with younger generations who have different tastes and perspectives. It's crucial to understand that this lack of shared sentiment is normal and natural. Accepting it allows us to approach decluttering without guilt or sadness. Our belongings no longer define us or our worth. Releasing them won't diminish our value or erase our memories. Instead, it can bring peace and simplify our lives, making room for new experiences and relationships. By letting go of our attachment to material possessions, we free ourselves from the burden of maintaining, cleaning, and worrying about our stuff. This liberation can bring a sense of freedom and lightness to our golden years. It allows us to focus on what truly matters, like spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or giving back to the community. When we detach from our belongings, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and create space for joy and fulfillment in our ever-evolving journey through life. Number 2, less stuff means more peace of mind. As we age, finding the right balance becomes increasingly important, especially when it comes to our living spaces. One of the key aspects of achieving this balance is decluttering our surroundings. When we have fewer possessions, we spend less time cleaning, organizing, and worrying about our belongings. This newfound freedom can bring a sense of calm and clarity to our lives, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. Without the distractions of a cluttered home, we can enjoy our golden years with more ease and grace. Number 3. Downsizing doesn't diminish your value. Many seniors face the difficult decision of downsizing their homes, whether it's moving to a smaller residence or transitioning to assisted living. This transition can evoke a range of emotions, from excitement for a new chapter to fear of losing the familiar comforts of our current homes. However, it's crucial to remember that downsizing doesn't diminish our value as individuals. In fact, it can be an opportunity for growth and adaptation. By embracing this change, we can create a cozy and comfortable living space that suits our evolving needs while still reflecting our unique personalities and life stories. It is a chance to curate a home that enhances our well-being and brings joy to our golden years. Additionally, downsizing can provide a sense of liberation, freeing us from the responsibilities of maintaining a large house and allowing us to focus on what truly matters in our later years. It's a chance to simplify our lives and embrace a new chapter filled with possibilities and contentment. Number 4, your health will thank you. Maintaining a clutter-free environment has numerous benefits for our physical and mental well-being. When we're surrounded by an overwhelming amount of possessions, it can cause stress and anxiety, affecting our overall health and quality of life. On the other hand, decluttering our living spaces can create a sense of calm and tranquility, reducing stress levels and promoting relaxation. A clean and organized home also makes it easier to move around, reducing the risk of falls and injuries, especially as we age. Moreover, decluttering can boost our energy levels by minimizing distractions and creating a peaceful atmosphere. When we're surrounded by order and simplicity, we feel more energized and motivated to pursue hobbies socialize, or simply enjoy our golden years to the fullest. By prioritizing decluttering, we invest in our health and well-being, ensuring a more comfortable and joyful retirement. Number 5, the right thing should come before the right time. Timing is a critical factor when it comes to decluttering. It's essential to recognize that there is no perfect time to let go of our possessions. However, certain moments in life, such as retirement or a health scare, can serve as wake-up calls, prompting us to reassess our priorities and simplify our lives. For instance, retirement offers a unique opportunity to declutter and downsize before entering a new phase of life, filled with leisure and exploration. Similarly, a health scare can be a turning point, encouraging us to focus on our well-being and create a living environment that supports our recovery. By seizing these moments, we can proactively declutter our lives and ensure that our belongings do you and become a burden as we age. Moreover, it is important to note that the concept of the right time is subjective and varies for each individual. Some seniors may choose to declutter gradually over time, while others may prefer to tackle it all at once. Ultimately, the best time to start decluttering is when you're ready and willing to make the necessary changes. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now and enjoy the benefits of a lighter, more peaceful life. Now, I hate to break it to you, but no one really cares about your stuff after 70. And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay if no one cares. But I think what's more important to understand is why that is. And so let's get into it. The first harsh truth is this. Your family doesn't want most of your stuff. What you view as sentimental keepsakes may only be seen as clutter by younger generations. Children and grandchildren are building their own lives, their own styles, and their own memories. They are not looking to inherit boxes of old dishes, furniture, or figurines. This can be a hard truth for many seniors to accept, especially if you have spent a lifetime acquiring possessions that you feel represent your personal history. But it's essential to remember that your children and grandchildren have their own lives to live. They recreating their own memories, and they don't need to be burdened with your old stuff in order to honor your memory. The good news is that when you understand this, you can start to focus on keeping only what truly matters to you. When you get rid of the rest, you'll have more room to enjoy the things that you really love. You'll also have less stress and less work involved in caring for your home. If you do decide to move into a smaller home or an assisted living facility, your children and grandchildren will thank you for the consideration. They may even be willing to help you declutter your home if you make it clear that you are doing this for yourself and not because you are trying to force them to take on your possessions. The second harsh truth is this. Downsizing does not mean cheapening your life. Sometimes seniors feel guilty about getting rid of things that they have spent a lot of money on, especially if those items hold sentimental value. However, downsizing is not about cheapening your life. It's about simplifying it, and there's a big difference. Getting rid of things that you do not need or use anymore will free up both physical and mental space for the things that are important to you. You may be able to afford to travel more, eat out more often, or take up new hobbies now that you no longer spending so much money on all of the stuff that you do and need. And if some of those items happen to have sentimental value, consider donating them to a charity that will give them to someone who needs them more than you do. You'll feel good knowing that your old stuff is going to a good cause and making someone else's life a little bit better. Plus, you'll save yourself the time and hassle of having to deal with it later on. Donating your stuff can also be a great way to honor the memory of loved ones who gave you those gifts in the first place. So if it makes you feel better, go ahead and keep a few select items that are truly special to you. But try not to let guilt over spending money on other things dictate which items you choose to keep. Instead, focus on what you actually use and enjoy and let go of the rest. You'll be glad you did. The third harsh truth is this. Letting go of material possessions can be incredibly freeing. Many seniors find that once they start getting rid of their stuff, they quickly realize how much better life is without it. They have more room to move around, more time to do the things they enjoy, and fewer responsibilities when it comes to taking care of their home. In fact, many seniors report feeling lighter, happier, and more at peace with themselves and their surroundings. Once they have decluttered their lives, letting go of material possessions can be a very cathartic experience. It allows you to release the emotional attachment that you may have to certain objects and replace it with a sense of freedom and simplicity. This can be a great way to honor the memory of a loved one who has passed away. By getting rid of things that remind you of them, you'll be able to move forward in your life without being weighed down by the past. Of course, this is not an easy thing to do, especially if those items hold sentimental value, but it can be incredibly liberating if you allow yourself to fully embrace the process. The fourth harsh truth is this: it's never too late to start fresh. Many seniors believe that it's too late to make changes in their lives, but this simply isn't true. You can start fresh at any age. In fact, many people find that they are more successful at making changes in their later years of life because they have more experience and wisdom under their belt. They know what they want, and they're not afraid to go after it. Additionally, studies have shown that our brains are capable of neuroplasticity, which means that we can change our habits and behaviors even as our brains age. So if you've always wanted to, let's say, learn a new language or pick up a musical instrument, now is the time to do it. It's never too late to start fresh, and decluttering your life is a great place to start. By getting rid of all the stuff that you don't need, you'll free up the time, energy, and mental space to pursue your new interests. You'll also be surrounded by fewer distractions and have more clarity to focus on what is important to you. Just remember that change is possible, and it can be incredibly rewarding. The fifth harsh truth is this: you are not your stuff. This is probably the most important thing for seniors to remember when it comes to decluttering their lives. Your stuff does not define you. You are not the sum total of your possessions, so don't get too attached to them. When you start to see your stuff as just stuff, it becomes easier to let go of things that don't serve you anymore. You'll be able to focus on the things that really matter in your life, like spending time with loved ones, pursuing your hobbies, and making new memories. Remember that you are more than your stuff. You are a unique individual with a lot to offer the world. Don't let your possessions define you or hold you back. Let go of the things that no longer serve you and embrace the freedom that comes with a simplified life. This may seem obvious, but when people start getting into their 70s, 80s, and 90s, they've accumulated a lot of stuff. And then when they pass away, their kids are left with even more stuff. They might have their parents' stuff, and then they also have their own stuff. So all of this stuff gets passed down. So by the time you're an adult, let's say in your 30s, 40 segundos, 50 segundos, or even 60s, you have 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much stuff as somebody who's just starting out. And the problem is there's only so much room in a house, in a condo, an apartment, and you can only fit so much stuff in it. And if you don't really have the heart to go through the stuff and go, yeah, this is mine, I love this, I want to use it, then you're just holding on to a lot of extra stuff that really doesn't bring you any joy, but it belongs to somebody else. It belonged to your mom. It belonged to your grandmother. It belonged to your great uncle. But do you really want to hang on to those knickknacks? Do you really want to hang on to all these things that maybe were special to other people, but they're not special to you? Think about it. When you go through this stuff, make sure that you're only keeping the things that you really love and you want to keep. Make sure that you're not keeping it for sentimental reasons, for family obligations, for guilt, or because you just feel bad letting go of it. Because guess what? If you didn't pay for it, if you didn't choose to bring it into your life, you don't really have any obligation to keep it there. The second, the market for antiques and collectibles is shrinking. What was once considered valuable, ornate china, dark wood furniture, or old silverware, often has very little demand today. Younger buyers prefer minimalism. They want modern designs. They want simple, practical items. Young adults today are buying things like, dishwashers that actually work. That's something that nobody had 40 years ago. We didn't have dishwashers growing up, and so I have tons of dishes and glassware that were collected over a lifetime that are probably not going to be super valuable because younger buyers just aren't interested. They don't want them. They don't see them as collectibles. They see them as clutter. So if you're holding on to things in hopes that they're really going to be worth something someday, that's probably not going to happen. In fact, if you want to take the really easy route and you're looking at your stuff thinking, wow, this is really pretty, I hope it's worth a lot of money. Take it to an antique shop, an antique store, and see what they offer you for it. Most likely you're gonna be disappointed. Because most likely they're gonna offer you a song and a dance and a free cup of coffee. And that's about it. Or they won't even offer you anything because they can't resell it. Truth, no. Threes, you cannot take it with you. Whether you decide to rent a cottage at the lake or live in your home forever, You can't take it with you. All we really have is the stuff that we have right here with us right now. And whether you're rich or poor, all of your stuff will be left behind. And honestly, a lot of your stuff will end up in the landfill. So it's a waste. It's a huge waste. So why hold on to it? Why carry around the weight of all this stuff that you're never going to use, that you're never going to look at again? That makes no difference to you whatsoever, when you can let it go and free up your mental space, free up your physical space, and just enjoy the stuff that you do have, that you do love, that you do use every single day. No. 4. Everything has a replacement cost. Yes. Even those old family recipes written on a 50-year-old index card. Yep, you can find them online. Everything has a replacement cost. Even the stories that you've been telling for 50 years. Those stories can be told by someone else. You know, they might not tell them exactly like you do, but they can be told. Nothing is irreplaceable. Nothing is unique, and everything can be replaced. Every single thing. Even the love and the relationships that you have built up over a lifetime can be replaced by new love and new relationships. And finally, number 5, the biggest lie of all. It's too late. You hear people say it all the time. Oh, it's too late. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I can't do it anymore. But what you have to realize is that the alternative to getting organized, the alternative to letting go of stuff that you don't need, is far worse than doing it. The alternative is having your kids or your grandkids or your friends or your neighbors or your paid caregivers go through your stuff when you're re-gone and try and figure out what to do with all of this stuff that you've accumulated over a lifetime. And none of them know your wishes. None of them know what's important to you. So they're gonna do their best, and they're gonna do their best guessing, but it's not gonna be your best. So how much longer do you want to put off doing this stuff until it has to get done? You know, we all live busy lives. We all have a million things to do. But when it comes down to it, there is nothing more important than taking care of yourself, taking care of your own stuff, making sure that you're happy with it, making sure that you're ready for whatever the next chapter brings. And if you have to downsize, if you have to move to a smaller place, if you have to sell your home, if you have to move into assisted living, you want to be ready for that, not dreading it, not having your kids come in and clean out your house and have a huge fight over grandma's good china. You know, all of that stuff is avoidable. It's totally avoidable. And it only happens because people don't take the time while they're healthy, while they're able to do it themselves, to sort through their stuff and do it the way that they want it done. But don't click away. This isn't your typical organizing tips video. We're uncovering truths about clutter in your golden years that you need to hear. Whether it's for yourself or a loved one, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have some seriously good reasons to start sorting through those boxers in the attic. So let's get started. No. 1. Your home shouldn't be a museum. You spend more time dusting than living. Have you ever felt like your house is taking over your life? Imagine spending precious moments in retirement, cleaning and organizing instead of traveling, pursuing hobbies, or simply relaxing. Well, that's what happens when your home turns into a storage unit. As the years go by, we tend to hold on to more and more stuff, often with an emotional attachment. But here's the harsh truth. No one cares about your knickknacks, dusty photo albums, or that extra set of everything you have. After 70, downsizing becomes crucial. It's not about losing sentimental value. It's about gaining back your time and peace of mind. The stuff starts to pile up, making everyday tasks like walking around the house or finding your favorite sweater a chore. It's time to face the music. You've held on long enough. It's okay to let go. Embrace the freedom that comes with less stuff, more space, and most importantly, more time. Your life is too short to spend it cleaning and organizing. So take action now and create the home you deserve in your golden years. No. 2. Safety first. Watch out for tripping hazards. Clutter isn't just an eyesore. It's a safety hazard. Picture these. You're trying to organize your thoughts while surrounded by stacks of paperwork, boxers, and other items cluttering your living space. Suddenly, you feel a sharp pain in your ankle. After tripping over that magazine you've been meaning to file. Yep, we've all been there. But here's the harsh truth about clutter and safety. Tripping hazards lurk everywhere. And as we are, Our balance isn't what it used to be. Dust accumulates on surfaces, worsening allergies and making breathing difficult. Even worse, clutter can cause stress and anxiety, especially in smaller spaces. Feeling overwhelmed in a sea of possessions can take a toll on your mental health. But here's the bright side. Decluttering can make your home safer and healthier. Removing tripping hazards reduces the risk of falls and injuries. Fresh air circulation in an uncluttered home improves air quality, benefiting your lungs and overall well-being. Plus, a peaceful environment can do wonders for your mental health. It's time to take control of your living space and create a safe, healthy, and clutter-free sanctuary where you can age with grace and comfort. No. 3. Clutter can quietly steal your independence. Imagine this. You're living your best life in your golden years, enjoying hobbies, spending time with loved ones, and staying active. But wait, you might be thinking, how can clutter impact my independence? Well, here's the harsh truth. Clutter can silently rob you of your independence. As the years go by, seniors who live among piles of unused possessions face challenges that can affect their daily lives. Tripping hazards caused by clutter can lead to falls and injuries, reducing mobility and increasing the need for assistance. In addition, breathing in dust-filled air can trigger allergies and respiratory issues, making it harder to stay active and enjoy hobbies. But that's not all. Living in a cluttered space can cause stress and anxiety, affecting mental well-being and potentially leading to isolation and depression. However, there's a ray of hope. Decluttering your living space can be a game changer. By removing tripping hazards, you can maintain your mobility and reduce the risk of falls. Improving air quality by minimizing clutter can help alleviate allergies and respiratory problems, allowing you to breathe easier and stay active. Moreover, creating a peaceful and organized environment can do wonders for your mental health, reducing stress, anxiety, and the risk of isolation and depression. Don't let clutter hold you back. Take charge of your living space and reclaim your independence. Embrace the benefits of decluttering and enjoy your golden years to the fullest. No. 4. It's not selfish to let go. You're not being selfish by downsizing your life and letting go of material possessions. In fact, it's a smart and considerate choice for several reasons. Firstly, it allows you to live a more sustainable and eco-friendly lifestyle. By reducing your consumption and waste, you lessen your impact on the planet, which is a responsible way to live, especially as we face environmental challenges. Secondly, downsizing can help you become more minimalist and intentional with your choices. You'll focus on what truly matters to you, whether it's experiences, relationships, or personal growth, rather than accumulating material possessions that ultimately don't bring lasting happiness. Thirdly, it allows you to use your resources more efficiently. Instead of spending money on acquiring more stuff, you can invest in meaningful experiences, travel, hobbies, or even charitable causes that align with your values. Additionally, by letting go of unused items, you free up space and resources for others who may need them. You can donate or sell your unwanted possessions, giving them a second life and helping those in need. Finally, downsizing can be a liberating and empowering experience. It challenges you to evaluate what you truly value and to make conscious choices about how you want to live the next chapter of your life. It's a chance to simplify your life, reduce stress, and focus on what truly brings you joy. Therefore, don't feel guilty about letting go of material possessions. Embrace downsizing as a positive and responsible way to live, knowing that you're not only taking care of yourself, but also contributing to a better world. No. 5. Less stuff equals less stress. You'd be surprised how much your living space affects your peace of mind. Imagine this. You're finally retired and ready to relax and enjoy your golden years. But instead of feeling at ease, you find yourself constantly stressed and overwhelmed. Clutter can silently wreak havoc on your peace of mind, turning your home into a source of anxiety rather than a place of comfort. But here's the silver lining. Less stuff means less stress. By decluttering your home, you'll create a serene living environment that nurtures your mental well-being. But how exactly does clutter contribute to stress? Well, living in a chaotic and disorganized space can trigger feelings of being overwhelmed and out of control. The constant visual stimulation of clutter activates the stress response in your body, elevating cortisol levels and making relaxation nearly impossible. But here's the solution. Decluttering your home can work wonders for your stress levels. When you remove unnecessary items and create a peaceful living environment, you'll experience a sense of calm and tranquility. By simplifying your surroundings, you'll reduce the visual distractions that trigger stress and create a haven of relaxation and rejuvenation. Decluttering can also boost your productivity and efficiency, allowing you to accomplish tasks with greater ease and focus. An organized space promotes clear thinking and problem solving, helping you tackle challenges with a level head. By minimizing distractions and creating a clutter-free sanctuary, you'll pave the way for a more peaceful and fulfilling retirement. So take the leap and declutter your home today. Embrace the benefits of reduced stress and improved mental well-being, allowing you to fully enjoy your golden years in a tranquil and rejuvenating space. Your stuff is not you. This is one of the first things that you need to get in your mind when you start this journey of decluttering and downsizing. You have been collecting stuff for many years, and you think that that stuff is part of you. That is how you built your life. That's how you measured success, by the stuff that you bought over the years. It's not. That stuff is just stuff. Take an example. Let's say you had a car. You bought that car because it looked nice. You thought it was beautiful, but it was never yours to begin with. It belonged to the manufacturer. The manufacturer made it. They owned the design. Even the salesperson didn't own it. It was just a tool they used to sell you. You owned it for a while until you sold it to somebody else who probably got it at a lower price than you paid for it because you already depreciated it. And then eventually that car will be crushed or exported somewhere else. It will be used as scrap metal. So all those memories that you have in that car, all the pictures that you took inside of it, all the good times and bad times that you experienced in that car, it doesn't belong to the car. It belongs to you. You are the only one who owns the memories that you created in that car. Same thing applies to everything that you own. Everything you own. Nobody owns those memories but you. You are the only one who has those memories. Number 2, it takes time to let go. It really does. There's a reason why people develop hoarding tendencies. A lot of times it is because they associate certain memories with certain things. And they don't want to let go of those things because if they do, they feel like they're going to lose those memories. They feel like they're going to lose part of themselves. So it takes time to overcome that. And it's okay if you can't do everything in a day. If you can't do everything in a week or even a month. Take your time. Go at your own pace. Just try to focus on getting rid of the things that you need and you do want anymore. You don't need to clean out the whole house in one shot. Do what you can, and as long as you're making progress, even if it's a little bit progress, it's still progress. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the ride. No. 3. Don't wait until it's too late. Too often I see people waiting until it's almost too late to do something. Maybe they have health issues, or maybe they have to move into assisted care and they finally realize that they need to get their affairs in order. They need to start decluttering and downsizing. But unfortunately, it's too late because their health won't allow them to do it anymore. They have to hire professional organizers or they have to pay somebody to come in there and do it for them. And that costs a lot of money. So if you're rewatching this video right now and you realize that you need to declutter and downsize, do it now. Don't wait until it's too late. Start now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. And no cuatro memories live in you, not in the objects. It's easy to believe that letting go of an old sweater, a chair, or a photo album means losing the memory tied to it. But in truth, the memory remains in your heart and mind. Holding on to fewer physical items can actually make those special moments feel even clearer, without being drowned in piles of things you no longer use. Here's the deal. As we get older, we tend to accumulate more and more stuff. And it's not because we need that stuff, but it's because we've held on to it for so long. We think that we need to hold on to it because it's part of our past. But here's the thing. Your past is not defined by the stuff you own. Your past is defined by the memories you have. So let me ask you a question. When you look at the stuff you own, does it bring you joy? Does it bring back good memories? Or does it just bring back stress and anxiety because you realize that you have to deal with it? See, here's the thing. If the stuff you own isn't bringing you joy, it's probably not worth keeping. You have to understand that you can't take any of this stuff with you when you go. And the memories that you have, they're not attached to this stuff. They're attached to you. So why not let go of the stuff and just keep the memories? Why not live in the present moment and enjoy your life instead of being bogged down by all the stuff you own? Here's the harsh truth. Nobody cares about your stuff after you're gone. Nobody cares about your stuff. Right now, the only people who care about your stuff are you and maybe a few other people close to you. But after you're gone, nobody cares. Your stuff is just stuff. It's just trash. So why not get rid of it now while you can and enjoy your life? Instead, you can travel. You can spend time with family and friends. You can do all the things you want to do now while you have the time and the energy to do it. As you get older, you start to realize that the stuff you own doesn't really matter. What matters is your health, your family, and your friends. All the other stuff is just stuff. So why not get rid of it now while you can and enjoy your life? I know it can be hard to let go of things, especially if they have sentimental value. But you have to understand that the memories are not tied to the objects. They're tied to you. You can't take any of this stuff with you when you go. So why not let go of it now and enjoy your life? We tend to hold on to things because they represent memories or a part of our identity. For example, each time I see a Rubbermaid container, I think of my mother. She had everything stored in Rubbermaid containers. But guess what? That doesn't mean I need to keep every Rubbermaid container that she ever owned. The reality is this. Our stuff doesn't make us who we are. It's just stuff. As seniors, we have to remind ourselves of this often. Sometimes it's hard to let go of those things that are so intertwined with our past. But remember, you are more than your possessions. You are your experiences, your relationships, and your character. Your worth isn't defined by the things you own. So let go of the attachments and realize that your stuff doesn't define you. No. 2. It's okay to let go of sentimental items. I get this question from people all the time. How do I get rid of things that are sentimental or have a lot of memories attached to them? There's 2 ways to look at this. First, ask yourself if holding on to these items is truly honoring the memory, or if it is causing you stress. For example, every Christmas my parents would put up the exact same artificial tree. This went on for over 30 years. My sister and I have decided to break with tradition, and now every year we pick out a new theme for our Christmas tree. Should we throw away the old artificial tree? Well, that depends. If I pull out the box and set it up, and then I love it, and I'm glad that I kept it, then it's going to be worth it. If I pull out that box, and I cringe and then have to talk myself into putting it up, and then I end up hating it, then I should have donated that stuff long ago. Second, consider if the item actually represents the memory, or if it's just something you're attached to. For example, when I was younger, my family would take annual camping trips. These trips were filled with fun and laughter. We made so many great memories around the campfire. Do I really need to keep the worn-out Coleman cooler from those trips? What does that cooler actually represent? Does it represent the actual memories, or does it represent something that I do unwant to let go of? Chances are the memory is represented by the feeling of camaraderie around that campfire. The smell of the pine trees, the sound of the crickets. Those are the things that can never be replaced. Don't throw away your memories. Instead, let go of the things that are weighing you down and causing you stress. Once you start doing this, you will find that your mental clarity improves and you feel lighter and happier. No. 3. You only need basic tools. Now, I'm not talking about all the power tools that you've collected over the years. Just the basics. A hammer, a screwdriver, maybe a level. Most people don't use power tools after they retire, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you built a bunch of projects already and now you just want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Or maybe you gave up on DIY projects altogether. If that sounds like you, why not clear out the space taken up by those power tools and give someone else a chance to use them? If you're donating your power tools, make sure to remove the batteries and store them separately. That way they won't get thrown out along with the rest of the donation. Remember, you only need the basics as you age. No. 4. Clutter can cause stress and health problems. A cluttered house can trigger stress and anxiety, especially as we age. When you're surrounded by piles of stuff, it can be hard to relax and enjoy your... Plus, tripping hazards caused by clutter are a major concern for seniors. According to the Centers for Disease Control, fall-related injuries are the leading cause of emergency department visits for older adults. It's also important to consider the health risks associated with hoarding. According to Healthline, people who hoard may have higher levels of certain toxins in their bodies due to mold growth, rodent droppings, etc. If you or a loved one struggles with hoarding, reach out to a professional organizer who specializes in hoarding situations. They can help you declutter your home safely and effectively. Remember, your health and well-being are worth it. A peaceful and clutter-free environment can make a world of difference in your golden years. Number 5. This is a tough one, but decluttering is a gift to your loved ones. Imagine the burden your children or relatives would face, having to sort through decades of belongings after you're gone. They might be dealing with their own grief while trying to figure out what to do with your stuff. Some of your items might still have sentimental value to them, but a lot of it probably wouldn't. Having to go through decades of your belongings can be both emotionally and logistically overwhelming. Don't leave that burden to them. Instead, try to declutter as much as possible while you can. Donate, sell, or give away anything that you no longer need or use. This way, your loved ones won't have to deal with the stress of sorting through a bunch of stuff that you didn't need anyway. Trust me, they'll appreciate it. And hey, if you're planning ahead, you could even consider leaving a list of places to donate or sell items. That way your final gift to them is a lighter load. This is such a big topic. If you want to learn more about how to properly prepare your home for future heirs, I have linked a few resources in the description box below. No. 1. If you have over 50% of your net worth tied up in your home, you could be considered financially underhoused. Most financial advisors recommend that the amount of equity you have in your home should be no more than 30 to 40% of your total net worth. It's a simple calculation. Subtract your debts from your assets, and then divide by your assets. This percentage tells you how much of your assets are tied up in your house. What do you do if you find yourself in this situation? Ideally, you want to scale back your housing costs so that you free up more cash flow for other things that you want to do now while you're still able to enjoy them. That means moving to a smaller house, perhaps one that is rent or strata titled rather than owner occupied. Or maybe you can take out a reverse mortgage to unlock some of the equity in your home and give you a tax and penalty-free lump sum withdrawal to spend on whatever you like. As difficult as it may be to move after having lived in the same home for many years, the peace of mind that comes with freeing up your capital will be worth it. Number 2. Don't leave an inheritance problem for your children. A common mistake that we see all too often is parents leaving an estate for their children that they know they owe you and be able to afford to keep. They hang on to family heirlooms and other sentimental items that ultimately end up being sold off by the children. After the funeral expenses have been paid and the estate has been settled, it's not a nice position for anyone to be in. So make sure you sort through your possessions early on and decide what you want to happen to them. If you have valuable antiques or collectibles that you think your kids will want, make sure you let them know where you've stored them and what they are. Likewise, if there are certain things that they wouldn't want, perhaps because they've already told you or, based on their personalities, that they would uncherish those items, you may want to consider selling them off. Then donating the money to your favorite charity. Doing this will ensure that the items get used or enjoyed by someone who will actually appreciate them rather than burdening your children with having to deal with sorting through boxers of stuff that you didn't need or want. Number 3. The older we get, the less stuff we need. When we're young, we set out to make our mark on the world. We buy that first car, then the next faster car. We collect trophies and certificates and awards. We accumulate books, tools, gadgets, and toys. And as we grow up, each stage of life comes with its own unique set of must-have items. But after a full life well lived, how much of that stuff do you really need to take with you into the next phase of your journey? As Benjamin Franklin once said, "Buy nothing unless you have need. Make no exceptions." And yet most of us do make exceptions. We buy things on sale or because they remind us of an important moment in time, or because we just really like them. But as we reach retirement age, we start to realize that all those trinkets and doodads don't really mean anything to us anymore. In fact, they're starting to become more of a nuisance than anything else. The longer we live without those items, the more we realize that they were never essential to our happiness in the first place. This realization is painful because it means letting go of the past, but it is also liberating because it frees us up to focus on what really matters in the present. we start to understand that the only things that truly matter are the people in our lives and the experiences we share with them. Everything else is just clutter. The question is, how do we let go of the clutter? Well, the first step is to acknowledge that we no longer need all the stuff we've accumulated over the years. The second step is to start getting rid of it. But don't stop there. Make sure you stay on top of it. As you start decluttering your home, you'll find that it becomes easier and easier to keep the clutter under control. Before you know it, you will all be living in a home that's filled with the things you love instead of the things you just have. And that, my friends, is a game changer. No. 4. In the big picture, none of this stuff matters. When we're young, we think we're invincible. We think we'll live forever and that nothing bad will ever happen to us. So we accumulate stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. We buy things on credit, things we can't afford, things we don't need. And then when we get older and wiser, we start to realize that none of this stuff matters. It's not going to make us happy. It's not going to make us healthier. It's not going to make us better people. But here's the thing. None of this stuff matters. Not one single thing. The only thing that matters is the time we have left to enjoy it. So why waste it on hoarding junk? We don't know how much time we have left. Any of us could be taken from this earth at any moment. So we need to cherish the time we have now. And that means getting rid of the stuff and living in the moment. Letting go of our attachment to material possessions is one of the most freeing experiences we can ever have. It allows us to live in the present moment, to savor the beauty of life, and to appreciate all that we have. So if you're holding on to stuff out of fear or obligation, I urge you to let go. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Number 5. If you aren't using an item or wearing that piece of clothing, it's probably because you don't need it. There are 2 types of needs: basic and emotional. Our basic needs are things like food, water, and shelter. They're the things we need to survive. Our emotional needs are things like love, acceptance, and belonging. They're the things we need to thrive. Most of the stuff we own doesn't meet either of these needs. It's just there because we bought it, someone gave it to us, or we inherited it. Sentimental items are especially problematic because they evoke emotions, memories, and associations that can make letting them go very difficult. But here's the truth. Those things don't make us happy. They just make us feel nostalgic for a time that has passed. And if we're not careful, we'll end up spending our entire lives looking back instead of living in the present moment. So if you're struggling to let go of sentimental items, ask yourself this. Does this item make me happy? Or does it just evoke memories of a time that has passed? If it's the latter, then it's probably time to let it go. The memories are yours to keep whether the item is there or not. One of the greatest feelings is when you open up your wardrobe and you have only clothes that you love and fit you well. When you enter your kitchen and find all your cabinets organized and filled with items you really use. When you look at the walls and notice there are no pictures hanging crookedly and the knickknacks are reflecting the light in an elegant way. I want this feeling for you. So today we're back with another harsh truth video. This time about the things around us. Tell a story. They show who we are, what we value, and where we've been. They can evoke happy memories, funny stories, and comforting feelings. For many years, I used to think that getting rid of stuff meant I was also getting rid of these stories, these emotions, and a part of myself. I wrongly assumed decluttering would lead to emptiness and loss. But the truth is so much more liberating than that. As a professional organizer, I'm here to help you reclaim your space, simplify your life, and find joy in the everyday. And today I am going to share with you 5 hard truths about decluttering that everyone needs to hear, especially if you're over 70. No. 1. Decluttering isn't about stripping your life of joy. It isn't about erasing your past or forgetting what you once had. You know those photos, letters, awards, and souvenirs that crowd your shelves and albums? They don't define you. They're merely a part of your story. And let me be clear. Keeping them doesn't mean you should let them clutter your physical space. Decluttering is about making thoughtful choices about what you keep, not getting rid of everything. It's about asking, do these items still add value to my present life? Do they bring me joy? Do they serve a purpose? If the answer is yes, 10, keep 10. If it's no, consider letting them go. It's not easy, I know, but it's worth it. You need to ask yourself why you're holding on to something. Is it because you feel guilty throwing it away? Is it because you think you might need it in the future? Or is it simply out of habit? Whatever the reason, take the time to sort through your belongings and decide what truly matters to you. Remember, it's not about getting rid of your history. It's about embracing the parts of it that still enrich your life. Hard truth, no. 2. Downsizing doesn't mean you have failed. It's quite the opposite. It means you're ready to embrace a new chapter, one where you're not weighed down by the responsibility of managing a lot of stuff. Think of it as shedding an old skin that no longer fits. You're not failing. You're evolving. You becoming untethered from the burden of material possessions, and you reopening yourself up to a lighter, more joyful way of living. Letting go of your excess belongings can be a very liberating experience. Once you realize you don't need to hold on to everything, you can free up not just physical space, but mental and emotional space too. It's about shifting your focus from what you have to what you can do, from the things that own you to the experiences that enrich you. So if you're considering downsizing, don't see it as a failure. See it as a success in simplifying your life and preparing yourself for a future full of new opportunities and experiences. Number 3, it's okay to discard something that has monetary value. It's okay to throw away a $100 bill. If it makes you feel better, material things are meant to be enjoyed, not hoarded. If you have something that serves no purpose to you, even if it's expensive, it's okay to let it go. The truth is, we often hold on to things out of a misguided sense of responsibility or obligation. We might feel guilty throwing away something we paid good money for, even if it's not serving any purpose in our lives. But here's the thing. You don't have to keep anything out of a sense of duty. You have the right to discard anything, regardless of its price tag. If it doesn't bring you happiness, or if it's just taking up space, it's your life. It's your space. Don't let anything, not even money, dictate what you keep. Your peace of mind is worth more than any monetary value. And if you find that one of your items could be useful to someone else, you can consider donating it. By doing this, you can not only declutter your own space, but also potentially brighten someone else's day. So if you have something that you no longer need, don't let it pile up. Whether it's a gently used item or something you never even took out of the packaging, don't hesitate to let it go. You'll feel lighter and freer without it. No. 4. Holding on to things won't make you poor in old age. Sometimes we tend to cling to our material possessions because we worry about being poor or needing financial support as we age. But here's the truth. Letting go of things now won't make you poor later. In fact, it can give you peace of mind knowing that your later years will be filled with experiences rather than things. It's true that unforeseen expenses can arise as we get older, such as medical bills or home repairs. But that doesn't mean you need to hoard items in your younger, more able years in preparation for these potential costs. Instead, focus on building a strong financial foundation now that'll serve you better in the long run than keeping a bunch of stuff. It's about making smart financial decisions today to secure your future, not relying on holding on to things that may or may not have value tomorrow. Remember, being rich in old age isn't about having a lot of stuff. It's about having a sense of freedom and security. It's about knowing that you've got this covered, and you can enjoy your golden years without worrying about money. Last, but certainly not least, number 5. If you haven't used it in a year, you probably don't need it. We often find ourselves holding on to things simply because we've had them for a long time. But here's a hard truth. If you haven't used something in a year, chances are you won't miss it. If an item hasn't added value to your life in the past year, it's probably time to let it go. This can be a really effective way to declutter your belongings. Take a close look at what you have and ask yourself, have you used this item in the last year? If the answer is no, it might be time to let it go. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule. There are some things that you might not use every year, but you still want to keep because they hold sentimental value or because you know you will use them eventually. But for most things, if you haven't used them in a year, it's likely you won't miss them if they were gone. By letting go of things you haven't used in a year, you're freeing up space for new possibilities in your life. You're creating room for new experiences, new relationships, and new things that will bring you joy. It is about embracing the things that are important to you in the present and letting go of the rest. Remember, it's not selfish to prioritize your current needs and wants. It's an act of self-care. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. One day all of us will pass away and someone else will be clearing out our belongings. How do you want that person to remember you? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Maybe it has the faint scent of fresh coffee beans because you always had a pot brewing in the morning. Perhaps it's the laughter echoing in the halls from the countless family gatherings you hosted. Maybe it's the sun-drenched rooms filled with plants you tended lovingly, which brought you such peace. I believe the legacy you'll leave behind is best defined by the memories you created, not the stuff you collected. And the best way to honor that is by letting go of what no longer serves you and cherishing what does. Truth, no. 2. Your stuff won't make anyone happy except maybe you. A few weeks ago, I was helping my mom declutter her garage. We found a vintage lamp with a faded shade and a worn base, and I asked her, "Do you know why this thing was in the garage?" She said, "I don't know. I just always kept it here." So we brought the lamp inside, cleaned it up, put a new light bulb in it, and put it in our living room. Now every time she sees that lamp, it brings a smile to her face, because it reminds her of days gone by when that lamp graced her dining room and brought her joy. This is a prime example of how certain objects can evoke special memories and emotions in us. Our things are like storytellers frozen in time, each holding a silent tale of where we've been and who we once were. But here's the catch. These stories are only interesting to us. For everyone else, they're just old, dusty things. Even for those closest to us, our children and grandchildren, our stuff is nothing more than clutter. They have their own lives, interests, and memories to focus on. Our vintage lamps are just taking up space in their world. It's tough, but if we want to be honest with ourselves and with them, we have to accept that our stuff doesn't bring anyone lasting happiness, except perhaps us. And that's okay. The happiness our things once gave us is a treasure we can hold on to in our memories. But expecting our children and grandchildren to share that same enthusiasm is setting them up for disappointment and burdening them with obligations they neither asked for nor care about. Instead of clinging tightly to material possessions that only we appreciate, let's focus on sharing the stories behind them. Let the memories we've cherished become cherished stories that live on through our family gatherings and holiday get. Share these tales. Laugh at the funny moments. Reminisce about the good times. That way, our stuff becomes more than just old objects. It becomes a bridge between generations, connecting our past to their present and enriching our shared history. No. 3. Your stuff isn't you. It's an extension of your personality. Sure, but it's not you. You are not defined by the things you own. When we start to think that we are our stuff, we are in for a world of hurt. Let me explain. Recently, I saw a social media post that went something like this. If you have less than 10 throw pillows on your couch, you are not welcome here. Can you believe that? What does having 10 throw pillows on the couch say about someone's worth? Absolutely nothing. But yet that person felt the need to judge themselves and others based on such a superficial standard. We can't let our stuff define us, because then we're at the mercy of our possessions. We'll constantly be striving to acquire more and more stuff to fill the gaps in our sense of self. And the minute we don't have the latest gadget or the most sought-after accessory, we feel incomplete. But guess what? We are not what we own. We are so much more than that. We are complex individuals with unique personalities, talents, flaws, and dreams. Don't tie your self-worth to material possessions. Let your actions, character, and contributions to the world define you. Then you'll have something solid to stand on, something that won't crumble when trends change or possessions are lost. Because no matter what happens, you will always be more than your stuff. No. 4. Downsizing is easier than ever. There are so many resources available to help seniors downsize and move. But here's the thing. A lot of them are not very senior-friendly. It's really important to find services that understand the unique challenges seniors face when moving. You might have lived in the same house for decades, and it is filled with decades worth of stuff. Maybe you're facing health issues or mobility challenges that make sorting through things difficult. Or maybe you're not even sure where to start. It's okay. There are companies out there that specialize in senior moves. They're experienced in working with seniors and understand the emotional attachment you may have to your belongings. They can help you sort through your things, pack and move with care and compassion. One company that has been featured on The Ellen Show, The Today Show, A&E, And More is a senior move management company that specializes in helping busy families with the relocation of their elderly parents or loved ones. They offer a variety of services to make the moving process as smooth and stress-free as possible. Whether you need help packing, organizing, unpacking, or even finding a new place to live, they've got you covered. But wait, there's more. So don't let moving or downsizing overwhelm you. Reach out to a company today and see how they can make a world of difference in your life. No. 5. You're not taking anything with you. We can't take our stuff with us when we go, which means everything we own will eventually be given away, sold, thrown away, or handed down to someone else. So why not lighten the load now? Why not release the burden of deciding what happens to all of your stuff to your children and loved ones? They already have enough on their plate. Please, don't add this extra stress to them. It's not fair to them and it doesn't benefit anyone. So let's take some pressure off and simplify the process for our loved ones. What can you do right now to make their lives easier when you're gone? Here's a pro tip to help you with this. Take photos of the stuff you want to keep and share the pictures with your kids or grandkids. Explain that these items have sentimental value and you would like them to have them. That way, instead of leaving piles of stuff for them to sort through, you're giving them memories. Trust me, they will appreciate it. In the end, no one cares about your stuff after 70 in the way you do, and that's okay. The real legacy you leave behind is not a house full of belongings, but the love, wisdom, and experiences you share. By holding on to what matters and letting go of the rest, you give yourself and your family the greatest gift of all, a life uncluttered, filled with meaning, and free of unnecessary weight. Remember the old saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure. Well, that means that when you have a garage sale, there are people who will show up who have an incredible eye for finding things they can flip and sell online for a profit. But no matter how good your pricing is, there will always be someone who comes along and offers you a price for your items that is even lower than what you would accept as a donation to Goodwill. And you will find yourself saying, yes, here you can have it for $2. I was going to put it in the donation pile for nothing. It doesn't matter how much stuff you get rid of. There will always be more. Even after your garage sale, there will still be plenty of stuff left over. The truth is, downsizing is a process, and many seniors find that taking it step by step, one drawer or one closet at a time, makes the process far less overwhelming. Small victories build momentum, and before long, the space begins to feel lighter, brighter, and more manageable. The emotional weight of too much stuff starts to lift as well. So instead of looking at all the stuff left over as a huge daunting task, break it down into smaller tasks and celebrate your successes along the way. Every single little victory counts. No. 2. People will judge you. We know that when we're getting rid of stuff, we're doing it because it's the right thing to do. We know we need to start downsizing. We may have even watched other videos like mine encouraging us to do so. But some people just don't understand why anyone would want to get rid of perfectly usable items. If your friends or family see you loading up your car with items for a donation center, they may ask, why are you throwing those away? They're in perfect condition. Why don't you just give them to me? When that happens, it helps to remember that most people only ever see the stuff that you're getting rid of and have no idea about all the stuff you've already gotten rid of or the stuff you have yet to tackle. It can also help to have a quick response ready like, I am working on a project to simplify my life and get rid of things I no longer need or use. It has been really freeing and I feel like I have more time to do the things I love now that I do and have to deal with all of that stuff. It's okay to set boundaries around your stuff, especially when it comes to donating or selling items. Explain that you're doing this for yourself and that you hope they understand. If they don't, then let them have it. Maybe they will learn from your example. No. 3. You will find special meaning in ordinary things. There is a Japanese art called kintsugi, which involves repairing broken pottery with gold. This practice sees brokenness as an opportunity to make something beautiful. When we look through our stuff, many of us will find things that have been broken for years and are beyond repair. The truth is, some things don't need to be repaired. Some things should be retired. However, in the process of letting go of the stuff we've accumulated throughout our lives, we have an opportunity to find beauty in the broken pieces of our past. Each item tells a story of who we were, who we are, and who we want to become. As you sort through your belongings, Take time to appreciate the memories they hold. Ask yourself questions like, when did I buy this? How have I used it? What does it mean to me? By taking the time to reflect on our relationship with our stuff, we can better understand ourselves and who we want to be in the future. We have a chance to reframe our relationship with material possessions and recognize their true value. In the end, we'll find that we have more than just stuff. We have memories that we can cherish forever. No. 4. It will take a lot longer than you think it will. This is the reality of You're probably thinking, I can get rid of all this stuff in a weekend. Think again. It takes a lot longer than we think it will. One of the biggest problems with having too much stuff is that it makes it difficult to find the stuff that we actually use. When we can't find something, we end up buying it again because we don't have time to go digging through the clutter. Because our spaces are filled with too much stuff, it takes a lot of time to straighten up. And the truth is, we hate the feeling of living in a mess. We know that we should be downsizing, but it takes a lot of energy to make decisions about what to keep, what to do not, and what to throw away. One way to make the process easier is to set small goals for yourself. For example, instead of saying, I'm going to declutter my entire house, try saying, I'm going to declutter one drawer or one shelf today. Make it a habit to tidy up for just 10 or 15 minutes each day, and you'll be surprised at how much progress you can make over time. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't expect yourself to downsize your entire house in a weekend. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Take your time, enjoy the process, and celebrate your successes along the way. Number 5. Nobody cares about your stuff. I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. When you're surrounded by stuff, it's easy to feel like you need to justify your decisions to others. But the truth is, nobody cares about your stuff except you. You know that you have to get rid of stuff when you're running out of space, or when it is becoming more difficult to move around your home safely. But sometimes we hold on to our stuff because we feel guilty or we don't want to waste it. The truth is, you shouldn't feel guilty for getting rid of anything you don't need or use anymore. It's selfish to keep things that you don't need simply because you feel guilty. Instead, you should feel good about getting rid of things that you do need, so that you can make room for the things that you do need and that bring you joy. So when it comes to making decisions about what to keep and what to let go of, follow your heart. You don't need to explain your decisions to anyone else. Just do what feels right for you. This is your journey, and nobody else can walk it for you.